Definitely the oldest patch I have ever laid my eyes on. And she obviously loves her dad. Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another banger. And so today I've got something pretty awesome, I think. So I have found a Bikey documentary, an Australian Bikey documentary from 1968, which just blew my mind because from my knowledge, there wasn't very many motorcycle clubs in Australia around that time. So it's quite unique to see something like this. And what also blew my mind is that somebody wanted to document this in 1968, and I'm glad they did because it's an absolute awesome watch, and I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. So I, for myself, seen some of the oldest motorcycle club patches that I have ever seen, and I've seen some old ones, but these ones absolutely took the cake. And yeah, there's some absolutely awesome footage in there. So there's a lot of old bikes, there's a lot of old cars, and there's a lot of just old Australian legends in there. Just the way that you remember, well, your grandparents really, and that's exactly what it's like. But I think it's absolutely awesome to see that, this was a time when the bike clubs were all about just your bike and the brotherhood and having fun and going for rides with your brotherhood and with your brothers and just having a good time. And you can see that that's all that these legends were into that for. And I think it's absolutely awesome. And like I said, it shows some really, really old Australiana. And I absolutely love that. And I know that a lot of you legends will absolutely love that. So, yeah, let's take a look at it. But before we do, guys, if you haven't already, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. And if you jump up there and hit that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. As a matter of fact, if you touch that bell icon, you'll be able to pick all or personalized. And if you pick all, you'll never miss anything at all that I drop on YouTube. So whether it be a post, a short, a long form video, or a live, you will get a notification on whatever device you are watching me on. So yeah, this is definitely the time when you want to be subscribing, guys. I've got the BIFF mobile out there on the road, and I've been getting out there and getting amongst it. So I've dropped a lot of videos this week of me getting out there and amongst it out there in Melbourne and in Victoria. So yeah, this is definitely the time when you want to be subscribing. Yeah, definitely a watch this space. I've got so many good locations lined up for the next couple of weeks. And yeah, we're definitely going to be getting into that. So yeah, you definitely want to be subscribing. And yeah, if you hit that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. But rightio legends, let's get into it. The 1968 Australian Bikey documentary. Let's go.
All I have in this world is my laws, my word, and I don't break them for no.
Ah, 1968 Australia, when a pair of thongs, stubby shorts, and a Bond shirt with a packet of Peter Stuyvesant's rolled up in the top were just as common as beating your wife for not cooking you a warm dinner. But also very common to be taking your missus on a ride down the road with no helmet on, and even the girls got out and had a ride.
Great to go away to a pub, a Sunday or something, you get away together, a good ride down there, nice and cool, a few of the lads, you're always joking and talking between each other, plenty of friends, and get there, have a few beers, have a bit of a muck around. There's never a dull moment sort of thing, a bit of a rip around.
And who can forget the prize-winning haircuts with the prize-winning sideburns to match? And smoking indoors. I don't think anyone misses that.
think of you still on Blueberry Hill, where I first met you. The weekend.
That, my friends, is the oldest patch I have ever laid my eyes on.
A bikie is a person like you'll find around here. The people that don't conform to anything in particular. They just like to live their own life, dress as they want to, ride their bikes, and have fun in general.
And who can forget the prize-winning dance moves? Check these ones out. Lovers in the air.
Well, I find them a pretty fair group of boys. They give me no trouble. I don't know why they've got a bad name, because over the period they have been here, they have been exceptionally well behaved, and I cannot fault them in any way whatsoever.
Have you any idea what made them come to drink at your pub?
Well, I think they've been chased around a little bit, and consequently some of the boys have been drinking here for about 18 months.
I don't know, you ride the bike and that, and the coppers are always after you, that's all. You go to one pub for a couple of weeks, a couple of months sometimes, coppers come, clear you out.
What are the problems associated with riding a bike? Police, mainly.
Yeah, coppers. That's the only one we got.
In actual fact, some of you break the law quite a bit, don't you?
Sort of, yeah.
Do you think you deserve any of the criticism you get?
A couple of fellas, but not a lot of them. Just a couple of baddies, man. They think everyone's a baddie, so I suppose we're all bad in our own way. It's bad and good in everyone, you know.
They're grouse blokes. They treat you well. If like I say, if you're a mole, they'll treat you like one. If you're not, they'll treat you a real grouse. They will.
Somebody was saying that there's some guys that give you a bad time. Is this true?
Only if you're a mole.
What's a mole?
Oh, you know.
No, can you tell me?
A girl that'll go with anyone, you know?
Are there many like that?
Yeah, a few.
But you're not.
I don't think I am. I enjoy myself. I come here, I'm not going with anyone at the moment, but I go home with a couple of blokes at different nights, but I don't class myself as a mole.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue with that.
I like bikes.
Is it?
They're the best thing going.
What about the crowd? You spend a lot of time drinking and not on the bike.
Well, we drink in on the bike, about half and half, I reckon.
I see you got an LSD badge on. Does any of the boys use marijuana or take
I reckon there might be
LSD?
some. Might be some, I reckon. But I don't know.
They're all dopes.
Yeah, that's right.
They park in the backyard and they come and go. They get out right on time. They're well behaved and very orderly.
Now, I've said this on many occasions too. There's not many times when clubs go out to functions like that and they misbehave. You know, they are very usually on their best behaviour. And obviously you see stuff in the news all the time. The news blows shit out of proportion. So all club members know that they are to be on their best behaviour when they're out, because obviously they're representing a brand, and anything they do when they're out, you know, goes back on the brand. So most clubs are all toeing the line when they're going out. So it seems like very much the same in 1968. That's awesome. What about the old cars and the bikes though? Absolutely beautiful. And the old streets there, awesome stuff.
I think they're lonely misfits, not sure of their position in life, and they want to project themselves as feeling good, you know. Pretty hard to say, really. I think they're really searching, you know.
I think they're great horrors. They're loud, noisy, and very disturbing for peace-minded people.
I think they're trying unnecessarily to impress somebody.
Well, I wouldn't be seen dead with one. I think they're shocking, Todd.
Generally, if you're not there, like if you asked an old woman what did she think about Bikey, she'd go, woo, you know. But you speak to a woman and, you know, pull up and ask somebody directions, well, they're all smiles, you know, and, oh, yes, you know, and sort of, you know, they don't spit in the gutter at you or nothing like that, you know. I don't think they're so bad. Not myself, I don't really think they're bad at all.
Tell me, what do you do as a group collectively? What kind of group activities do you indulge in?
We've always had a pub, you know, we've always got a pub to go to, and everybody drinks there, and there's always a bit of a party after. Somebody's got a, you know, everybody lives in houses and flats, most of the boys live together. And a few of the girls, you know, we've got a house here and there, and we have a bit of a party, and, you know, it kicks on all right, and there's always something to do, you know. There's plenty of mates with a bike, you've always got mates, you know.
Do you find that police pick on you because you're a bikie?
Well, this is something that's been with us for a while. I think it's up to the individual himself. The police are hard, but if you're doing anything wrong, admittedly, never mind who you are, you could be the Prime Minister. They're still going to charge him whatever he's doing, aren't they? But sometimes the tactics of booking you for speeding are a bit rough.
I don't think they're that bad, you know. It gives a bit of a hard time at times, but I think it's mostly up to yourself, really.
What are the chances of one of your fellows getting smashed up on a bike?
Oh, pretty high. It's only one. Only recently we've had one put in hospital.
So obviously the police harassment is something that's not new either. I imagine the police harassment back then would have been pretty crazy because the bikies would have been like, obviously, the 1%, and they are not like the norm. And the police of old times were, yeah, very, very, very old school like that. So I imagine they probably would have been more harder on them then than they were, well, before they'd done all the bikie laws anyway.
Kneecap injury, which is pretty bad.
Can you tell me what happened?
On my way to work, a truck made a turn in front of me and I went in under his back wheels. Crushed my knee, brought me here in an ambulance and x-rayed it, had it in plaster for a week. They said to let the swelling go down. A couple of days ago they operated on it, they put a plate in it from the back because they reckon the bones are crushed or split, whatever. They use all these Latin terms that I couldn't understand.
Has anything like this ever happened to you before?
Yeah, I had 4 months in hospital back a while ago with a ankle injury to my other ankle, and they done much the same thing. I was going home from a party late one night, tried to hop round the corner too fast and cleaned up a few hedges and fences and through a few people's front yards and that sort of thing.
Now, all these accidents, are they ever going to stop you riding a motorbike?
I haven't done yet, and I don't think this one will at all. Of course, I'll have to get a new bike after this last one. I made a bit of a mess of my bike, I'm told.
1962, I had an accident. I was riding pillion, and from the result of the accident, I received a plate in my forehead, fractured my skull in 3 places, bone chips and cartilage removed from the right knee. 1964, I had a head-on collision with a car. It wasn't my own fault. It was, the car drivers on the wrong side of the road. 1965, I was drunk, came off at Narrabri, busted both elbows and a thumb. 1967, going through a corner. The road was wet and came down and lost my leg.
You're still riding a bike?
Yes.
This hasn't put you up?
No.
What do you think is the most important event of the motorcycle year?
Bathurst. Definitely Bathurst.
For some bikies, the race is not the thing. Some don't even go to the circuit. They come simply to worship the bike and the leather.
See what I mean? They don't even go to the race. They all just rock up to worship the bike and the leather. Like I said, it was all about the bikes and the brotherhoods. And that's exactly what it still should be like.
Got any idea what happened?
Yes, well, we sort of came down into the dip in the Esses. The front brake locked. It slid. When the front wheel went, it just went. That's all there is to it. You can't do anything about it when the front wheel goes. It was very slippery and was just gone and over.
Do you think you were very lucky?
Oh, no, not really. We weren't going very fast there in the Esses, and it's just sort of slide off. The leathers stop any gravel rash. Without the leathers and the helmet, you might be in a bit of trouble, but they saved the day.
After race celebrations are often hectic and rowdy. This year, police installed a mobile field unit, a self-contained police station manned around the clock. This certainly quietened things down, but rowdyism is still a problem, not least for the more conventional motorcyclist.
Well, their only problems, to my mind, are the undesirables, which congregate at Bathurst, and unfortunately give the motorcyclists a bad name. The press seem to play them up tremendously, and unfortunately we have this undesirable aspect at most sporting functions, but I think at Bathurst, all these louts in motorcycles and in motorcars, I'd say there's just as many in motorcars as there are in motorcycles. They get in the town, around the parks, they loll over the footways and molest and trouble decent people that are trying to do their shopping. As a matter of fact, last year I wasn't prepared to go into the city on the Saturday evening because of these undesirables around about. And it's very, very good indeed to see that the police taking the action they are over the last 2 years to combat
the undesirables. That bloke was not mucking around. But as you can see, obviously always had a bad stigma in the society, and it's still exactly the same today.
These undesirables.
Well, the main problem is vandalism from the hoodlum element point of view, not from the competitors. The competitors have, well, certainly classified themselves in a different sphere to the followers.
Are all followers hoodlum elements?
Oh, no. There's, I'd say, a vast percentage are families who camp up on the mountain and come here for the sport and are very, very good type of people. It's only the youngsters who come here on motorcycles and young girls who cause the trouble.
What sort of trouble do they in fact cause?
Well, mainly in the hotels, excess drinking, traffic offences too, and when they get the liquor, they just offend against the traffic laws. Vice comes into it as far as the girls and the boys are concerned. And in past years it has been very bad, but this year's been thankfully very, very good.
Have you had any experience of any kind of vandalism this year?
Only last night with the explosion in the PMG letterbox. It was blown to pieces about 11 o'clock, and luckily nobody was injured.
Well, Bathurst seems to be much quieter this year than it has been in the past. What have you done to accommodate?
Well, I carried on from my previous officer in charge. He put into effect additional police from various squads in Sydney, 21 Division, Women Police, STP, and Motor Squad. As a result of that, and the supervision and control that was issued last year, I'm sure that that has been the reason why this year was so quiet. Mainly, too, the increased penalties have some effect, no doubt. The youngster who comes up here with, say, £5, £10 in his pocket can no longer get bail. His bail has been increased, and he just faces the proposition of either staying here over the weekend and come before the court on Tuesday, be remanded into jail, and then possibly face a jail sentence after.
We have a lot of hangers-on that don't ride motorcycles, and they wear the boots, the leather jacket, and they come around and they play the big fools. And I think they do a lot to harm us because they're not enthusiasts, they don't love bikes like we do. And they wear swastikas and all the garbage, the chains, they're tattooed from here to there. And the average person sees them in the street and naturally they brand them as a motorcyclist. And they don't realise that the people that do love bikes are the ones that are trying to get a good name for ourselves. But these fellas come along and they're only with us for 12 or 14 months and they do 5 years of damage.
I noticed there's a lot of you wearing a lot of gear with the German helmets and things. Do you know, why is this?
Oh, it shocks the public a bit. Yeah, stirs them up, generally it.
You think that's important to stir up the public?
Oh, no, but they hate bikers to start with, you know, and you add a bit and it really sets them off. Really, you know, stirs them up.
Why do you think they hate bikies?
Wouldn't have a clue, but they always have and they always will, I think. Oh, I know, since the wild one came out, I think that's really set them off. I think everyone's just a mob rapist and that's it.
Do you think they're justified in thinking this at all?
No, I don't think so. I've been hanging around about 2 years and I think they're just ordinary guys that like their beer, like the machines they ride. And they have a ball, you know, which is just life.
To an observer, it seems that the beer and the bikes tend to take first place over the birds. Where do the girls fit into this environment?
We come along after that.
I think it's a dead old world in any society when the birds don't fit in, but I think our birds realise there's a time and place for everything, and they're happy at this. But anybody that says we're not worried about birds, well, I don't think we're knocking around with any queers.
Surfies have actually said that riding surfboards and riding the waves, they get so much satisfaction out of that they find that girls aren't so important. Do you think the same thing would apply to people who ride bikes?
In a way, yes, I think. There's a big thrill in riding a motorbike.
When you're by yourself, you've got nobody around you, you're out on the open road, you've got a ton of power under you, and you're free from any environment of anything. And I think this is it. But as far as not needing girls, well, I think we all need girls.
What the real question is, though, what are these people using in their hair as product? Look at them riding along here, not even doing anything to their hair. Well, there you go, guys. We're nearly getting to the pointy end. But there you go. Once again, the hair not moving. What are they using? Maybe Brill cream. A little dabble do ya, they reckon. I wonder what the fatalities were really like back then because no one wore helmets at all. The old bikes are awesome too.
We all live the same way, we think in the same lines, everybody lives for their bike more or less, you know. I've ridden bikes for years and years, I dream about bikes, you know. I even get myself mixed up with my bike and my dreams. Sometimes it sounds silly, but I dream about handlebars going down my head, you know. It's sort of, the bike's part of me, you know. A bike is different to a car. A car's just a means of transport. You can go to a hotel with different people. You got a bike, you're different to everybody else. You can't wear good clothes. You've got to wear, you know, a leather jacket, and live as a bikie more or less. It's a way of life, not just a means of transport at all.
But one thing's for sure, you can tell these guys are all loving it and having the best time of their life. You can tell because they're smoking cigarettes while they're riding. Look at the sunglasses they're wearing. This is clear and perfect evidence that people are having fun while they're doing it. But awesomely, check out the bikes. How cool are the bikes, though, in all seriousness? And the jackets. The jackets have got to be cool too, though.
A way of life or a means of transport. Either way, a Bikey remains for most of us an oddity on wheels, to be scorned and sometimes feared. Sometimes, Bikies feel the public doesn't even try to understand. For him, what counts most is being on a bike.
Well, 1968 bike club scene is very, very different, but a lot of the things were very much the same. The cops were still Karens. The people in society who think anyone is different were Karens. The bikes were awesome. The cars were awesome. And it just looks like everyone was enjoying what it was all about, which was bikes and getting out there with your brothers and having some fun. Well, there you go, legends. 1968 Bikey documentary. And yeah, it just blew my mind when I seen that. All the old bikes, old patches, old cars. I thought it was absolutely awesome. And I thought you legends would absolutely love that as well. And obviously you would have noticed I tried a few more things along the way there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comment section of my new editing style. If you'd like to see more of that, chuck it down there in the comment section and I will absolutely do that. And yeah, once again, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, trust me, this is the time when you want to be subscribing. I'm getting out there and about, and I've got some very awesome places I've got booked in that I will be going to do some filming over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, you definitely want to be subscribing, and if you smash that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. And as always, don't do drugs and crime and you won't end up in prison. We out.